I can't take time off when I want, so what about when you don't want?
In 2019 I started working for a big accounting firm right after college. I already had a bit of experience because of a few internships and I always worked part-time since I was 16, but I was mainly hired because I spoke 4 languages and they had business with a lot of foreign clients. I was hired as a consultant but I did a lot of things. I really enjoyed organizing big files and I had a lot of experience with Excel, since I had paid for a professional course during college, so besides my usual work of handling some clients and doing my reports, I was also doing a lot of things like sales reports, clients reports, basically most of the Excel files and a lot of computer-based tasks.
When COVID hit and we started to work from home, I was able to automate most of my tasks during 2 or 3 months. I was able to program a code that would basically do the sales reports, most important file, and a few more automatically, and I could update it if needed. My boss was over the moon with the update part, but I did not told him that it was being done automatically. I did not told anyone, for a matter of fact. This gave me a lot of extra time to talk to clients and pick up a few extra new ones, which gave me a considerable pay rise, since I was highly appraised during the meetings with my direct boss and a few higher-ups. Whenever I did take time off, I had to delegate all of my tasks and clients' meetings to anyone I trusted, which was mostly Jimmy, fake name. Jimmy was a good personal friend of mine and was married to my cousin, so we would occasionally take time off at the same time for a vacation or family gathering.
I was saving my vacation days for summer and winter, and in the only days I took during 2020, I let my tasks running automatically, and I told Jimmy that he didn't need to do that, and he really didn't ask questions since it was less work for him. However, me and Jimmy took a few days off at the same time to go to a wedding in another country, and I was told by my boss that he would let it happen but to not make it a habit to take our vacation at the same time, and that I would have to work a bit harder to thank him for his good deed, and that my sales weren't getting any bigger in the last few months. I reminded him that I had the higher number of sales in all the department and I was the only one with the extra tasks, but he just told me that it wasn't a big deal, and that anyone could have done that.
So when I went on vacation, I turned off all of my automated tasks. And this was a big deal since it was the end of the month and my boss would need all my reports completely updated. Apparently they had to put 5 people to do my tasks so that they could finish the reports, which delayed the work of that team. And the reports were late and lacked a few things that mine had. This was huge since all the higher-ups weren't happy with my boss since he showed them the reports late, and they were clearly a downgrade from mine. And they also commented that there was a team failing a lot of deadlines that month, which was the team assigned to do my tasks. As soon as I got back to work, I got a call from my boss apologizing for not appreciating my work with the tasks, offering me a bonus and asking me to not take time off at the end of the month never again. I told him that it was an unreasonable request, and I reminded him that he already approved of my week off in 2 months, which he apparently was still under approval, and he straight up told me that it wasn't going to be approved. I am not an angry person per usual, but I got really upset about that. And they told me that as long as it wasn't at the end of the month, I could take time off whenever I wanted. Okay, fine. As soon as I got out of the call, I started looking for other jobs and I scheduled all of my time off, about 3 weeks, to the next month, busiest month for us. This was a big deal since most of the big clients didn't speak English or our native tongue, and they only wanted to talk to me. But nevertheless, my boss approved. Subsequently, Jimmy also scheduled time off at the same time, so despite not being end of the month, someone had to do my tasks since I would once again turn them off. Apparently they weren't able to handle neither my clients or my tasks, and they just ignored the tasks until I got back. But some of the clients are really angry since no one could really assist them as good as I could. And I actually got a call in my personal phone from one of them asking him to assist him in my personal time and that he would be really appreciative of my time. This was a huge client and he was actually a great person that had huge respects for me. So I said it was fine as long as he came to my location. I was in vacation with my family. So long story short, they came with a yacht and invited all of my family to go there and to the villa he rented. I spent a whole day helping him and setting all of his orders and requests, and he was more than happy to offer me a job offer once he knew I was looking for other jobs. Since apparently I sent my curriculum to one of his buddies' company. It was a huge offer with lots of benefits. And the offer would also extend to Jimmy, who was actually going to work for me, with a great salary also. In my country you don't have to give 2 weeks notice to your boss, so I just quit when I returned and told him that I wouldn't to any of the sales reports. He was pissed, but here was nothing he could do. I am still in the same company, but with a higher position now. I actually manage a huge team and I don't really have a schedule. I just have to travel a lot, which is fine by me. Last I checked with a few friends that still work in my old company, they had to hire a whole team to handle my tasks, and a few of the clients quit because they weren't satisfied with how they being handled. Next time you should also value your employees more.
I'm glad you got out of there and into a better position, especially since you brought Jimmy with you. Letting your old boss enjoy the results of his own bad decisions instead of bailing him out was a nice touch.
Corporate pro tip: don't piss off the person in the team who makes you look good as a manager. I'm so appreciative of you. Here's a bonus. No, you can't take that week off.
I was able to automate most of my tasks. But I did not told him, boss, that it was being done automatically. Learned that lesson the hard way. Along with other coworkers, we automated the hell out our entire office. From setting up a multi-line BBS to recording an entire phone tree with information about the product you were calling about. BBS was up to handling as many calls as the CSR phones. Phone system reported 75% of calls dropped after the recording ended. There was message that you are still in queue, with a minute average wait time. 3 months later, most of the call center was laid off. Since then, I've automated my jobs, but never ever let my bosses know how much automation is doing my job. I love it when your boss basically implies, well, anyone could do your job. Oh, really? You're about to find out how not true that is.
Malicious competence. Love it.
That sounds so much like my old company. They were so bogged down in paperwork it was sickening, so I automates it for me and got much more done than anybody around me. I also helped other members of my team out, which turned out to be pretty regularly, but I kept all our number looking rosy. So they hired a new director and he was not a number guy, even though the company did everything by the numbers. He wanted to move my position to a more visible office, but not me. So he did it. He got me. I actually got a fantastic package and I was happy to go, as I hated that place with all my soul. And the numbers of course took a nosedive. And for some reason he thought they would recover, but without me and my little automations, nope. So in the end I retired and I am having a good time with that. And the director and my old manager on the street. I wonder why anyone else didn't think to also automate. How complex was the automation?
Good help is hard to find. Old boss forgot that lesson.
It's always telling when no one can pat you on the back quite as well as you can do it yourself. This is a universal problem. Only management is valued. Everyone else is common labor.
Needs TLDR.
You played yourself. You could have got promoted in your old company if you were honest about your automation development and helped roll it out across the company. Instead, you denied your employer tools that were presumably developed on company time and had a temper tantrum when they denied you holidays because you hadn't shared your automotion tools. If you had trained anyone else to develop or use the tools that you had developed, they would have let you take leave at the end of the month. All you did was hurt a company that needed you and was actually trying to retain you.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.